So Marjorie Taylor Greene walked out of an interview with local Georgia news media after she was being asked questions that she had answered before. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the outgoing Republican House rep from Georgia, Marjorie Taylor Greene, walking out of an interview with 11 Alive, local Georgia news media, after being asked questions that she had already been asked in previous interviews. I guess her thought process is, look, I've already answered that in a separate interview. I don't need to answer it right here. This is a ridiculous notion because guess what? Not everyone watches everything that you do. Someone may not have seen you ever speak except for on 11 Alive. So there's questions that they want answers to. So why are you not providing an answer? See, and before I go any further and get to the video, this is exactly why she shouldn't be in office. This is exactly why she should not run for Senate or governor or president or anything like that. This is a very simple and basic question, a very simple and basic thing that everyone deals with who is in the public eye, but she can't deal with it. Now, before I go any further, let's get to the actual clip. Of course, I will link to the entire clip in the box. If you want to see it and hear it without my commentary, if you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Tonight, a dramatic moment you'll only see on 11 Alive. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene walked out of an interview with our Zach Merchant.
That's right. So she cut that interview short when we asked her about controversial comments from the past.
I know that you've mentioned here in this interview, President Trump calling you a traitor was a breaking point for you. In the past, you've tweeted, you called Republican Congressman Bob Good a traitor. You called some Republicans who voted for President Biden's infrastructure bill traitor Republicans. You've used that language too. Do you regret that?
That is a really good question. And she has to say, yes, I regret it. And if she doesn't, then she's a hypocrite. You can't get mad at Trump for calling you a traitor when you have used that exact same language. But let's see what she has to say.
Yes, I've already addressed this before, and I'll stand with what I've already said. I've also been the victim of it. I was actually accused by Democrats online of being the pipe bomber on January 5th, which was such an outrageous, dangerous lie that brought death threats on me back in 21 and 22. I've also been used many times and called a traitor by Democrats in fundraising emails and campaign ads. So again, I want to reiterate, this is a two-way street, and I seem to be the only one willing to take responsibility.
And Congresswoman, in fairness, we've asked Democrats as well. We ask everybody about their past stances and past statements. But we would be remiss if we didn't ask you about this. You say you're taking responsibility for it. I just want to be really clear. Do you regret, do you apologize for saying those things?
I've already addressed this. I said it on CNN. I've said it back in 2020, and thank you. I've already addressed it.
You're not on CNN. You're not anywhere else. You're not in the past. You are on 11 Alive. So do you want to answer it or not? Because from what you said, from your response right now, it's kind of unclear. I don't really know. You said yes in the beginning, but was that you saying that you regret it, or were you just saying that as a word to bridge into your prepared statement? I'm just trying to understand what's going on.
Could you address it here again, though? And if not, why not?
Thank you. I've already addressed it.
Ma'am, I don't want to dwell here, but I don't think you have addressed it here. If it's something you regret, I mean, could you just explain why you don't want to say it again?
I'm sorry, but I don't know why you have this motive. I don't quite understand it, but I've already addressed it, and people have thanked me, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity. But this isn't an exercise that I should have to go through on every single interview, and it's quite unbecoming of you to continue to have to push that.
Ma'am, some people would argue that saying colleagues were traitors was unbecoming. I don't think this is an unreasonable question.
See, so this is the toxic nature that I'm talking about now.
Toxic? How you going to try to blame him for being toxic? You said it. You said it on numerous occasions. So we're just trying to get some understanding. Do you still stand by what you said? Do you regret what you said? Do you apologize to those who you called traitors? Because now you're complaining about being called a traitor. What's happening?
You're participating in it yourself here with 11 Alive. And so again, I think
now you want to just 11 Alive, and 11 Alive are very well respected down here in Georgia.
you should take responsibility of your own words, the product that you're producing here on your network. I've done my part, so I think it would be good for you to do yours.
Well, ma'am, these are your words, but it seems like we're not going to get any further here. So I do want to ask you one last question.
You know what? Thank you so much. I appreciate the interview. Hopefully, good luck.
Ma'am, are you going to run again?
Wow.
And that was the end of the interview. Now, Greene plans to resign from Congress on January 5th, and she says she has no plans to run for office despite major statewide and national races on the horizon in the next few years. So you can watch Zach Merchant's full.
Now, look, the full interview, as he was alluding to, the full interview, I'll link to that in the box if you want to see it there. But good grief, that was something else. And you know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of the lady out there in California. What's her name? Katie Miller, I believe her name is. You know what I'm talking about. She did the same thing. She's being asked questions that everyone gets asked, and she got frustrated and walked off. Same thing with Marjorie. And the guy at the end was trying to move on. He's like, okay, see, we're not getting anywhere right there, so let's just move on to the next question. But she's still mad. She's still upset about that line of questioning. So she just went ahead and walked out. It's the same thing the other lady did. And this is, again, why people don't want women to be in office. Not very important office. Her role as a House rep was perfect because, look, all you got to do is just show up, be a good MAGA, and vote for what we want you to vote for. That's all you got to do. And she did that for 5 years. And Marjorie, for that, I thank you for your service. But now it's time to go. You got to go because this is totally ridiculous. And let's talk about the whole thing about being asked questions in interviews multiple times. That's part of doing interviews. You're going to be asked the same questions a lot from interview to interview. If you watch someone on the press tour, whether they're running for office, they're trying to sell a book or whatever it is, if you watch several interviews from that same run, you'll see quite a few of the same questions and quite a few of the exact same answer. Now, me being a guy, I've done speaking engagements, podcasts. I've just spoken to human beings outside at political events and things of this nature, regular places. And the number one question I always get is, do you want to run for office? I've been getting that since before YouTube was even a thing for me. Years before my first YouTube video was even a thought in my mind, I've been getting asked that question. When I was little, it was, you're going to be a preacher, or you might be a preacher. You called to preach. That's what it was when I was little. But once I got to be maybe like in my mid to late 20s, it was, you want to be a politician? I got a quick story. As I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. I'm like 28 years old. At the time I'm in West Virginia. It's Mother's Day. I'm going to the mall to get everybody Mother's Day cards. My mom, my grandma, my aunt, my cousin just had her baby, you know. So I went and I was doing that. And while I'm at the mall, I see one of my aunts in there. And she's like, hey, did you win? I'm like, did I win? What you mean, did I win? Did you win? You're running for mayor, right? I was like, nah. I was just posting, because at the time I was a graphic designer. I was just posting some things that I was designing for my friend who was running. I explained to her that it wasn't me, it was him. And after that, she was like, well, you could just start with city council. She wasn't really trying to hear that. Start with city council and then work your way up and you can become whatever you want. They were telling me that back then. And throughout my time of being an adult, I've been getting asked that question. And when I get asked that question, I tell them that I get asked the question a lot, but I'll always answer the question. I don't say, well, my aunt asked me that back in 2012, so I'm not going to answer you right now, 2025. That makes no sense. Listen, as I said from the beginning, just because you've been asked that same question over and over again does not mean you don't have to answer it, because some women have only seen you on 11 Alive and that's it. They may not have seen you on CNN. They may not have seen you on your social media. They might not have seen you on a Tim Dillon podcast or The View or here or there or everywhere. They may not have seen that. They're only going to see you right here, right now. So answer the question. And if you can't answer these basic, simple questions, it underlines my point about you and others like you not needing to be in office. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about Marjorie Taylor Greene refusing to answer the questions about the traitor? Okay, you call this person a traitor, that person a traitor. Do you apologize? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. That's totally ridiculous. You got to answer questions. You're going on a press tour. You're going on a media run. You're going to be asked the same question over and over. It's okay. Answer the question. And if you don't want to answer certain questions, then don't do interviews. And since you are resigning, since you are quitting, who cares what you say anyway? Maybe your next thing is to be a podcaster, public speaker, or whatever. But how are you going to be doing podcasts if you can't answer questions? Look, I've done many podcasts, and the whole concept is the host asks you questions and you answer. Make it entertaining, make it fun and informative. That is the whole goal of a podcast. If you can't do that, if you don't want to do that, then what are you doing with all these interviews? I don't really get it. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.